I have music to start. Oh, wait, wrong song. Wrong soundboard for that one. So that is my apologies. And going to there, exiting out. Oh yeah. We're doing it live, and my co-host will be back in short amount of time. This is Patricio, aka Rocket. Wait a second, are we doing your show first or my show first?
Your show first.
I have no idea what I'm doing because this is a live impromptu episode of With the Side of Gas. This is Patricio, aka Rocket. And as always, I'm joined by the saltiest of white boys you'll ever meet. Aaron Sadagas is not in the building, ladies and gentlemen. He is outside doing something. So I'm going to let the music play for just a few more seconds as I gather my thoughts. Once again, welcome to With a Side of Chaos. This is Patricio, aka Rocky. This is the podcast that puts a magnifying glass on our land to show the world that we're more than just theme parks. We talk to the creative, the diverse, the talented that gets overlooked because of a mouse. We don't hate the mouse. He just takes a lot of the glory. I am right now in a place that has a couple of deer on the wall, a lady drinking her ginger beer, and me surviving a dog attack. How you doing, Sureth?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing tonight?
Dude, I hope that in the next few hours I'm still alive or not foaming at the mouth. As we were coming out here, Aaron and I were getting, I met up at his house, and we're getting all our stuff, all the equipment in the car. And as I'm turning around, this dog just comes running at me, jumps. Now, mind you, I'm a dog person, love dogs, and freaking bit me.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. And the lady who was holding the dog freaks out now because, like, oh my God, you're gonna kill my dog. No, I'm a dog person. Just keep your dog back a little bit. Like, I'm bandaged up right now. I already bled out in the car, so that's fine.
You know what those people usually say?
What do they say?
They usually say, "Oh my God, he never bites."
Oh yeah, same thing.
Fuck off.
Fuck off. Yes, your dog bites. It bit me. And hopefully I'm still alive by tomorrow. But what's your worst encounter with the dog, Sureth?
There was just some dogs that just bark at me just randomly.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm just a strange kind of guy. But I'm a welcoming, like, most dogs are fine.
Yeah.
But I've never been, I got attacked by a dog when I was a kid. That's about it.
Oh, dude, like, was it like face or just arms, or like, did it just, like, where did it get you at?
Just by the arm.
Just by the arm. I'm a dog person. I've had dogs since I was a kid. My golden retriever that I had for 15 years passed away like about 4 years ago. And I just love dogs. So, like, I couldn't imagine being the person to say, hey, lady, your dog's dying next week. I don't have the heart for that.
No way.
And I'm walking away. I'm just like, geez, I hope you take care of your dog next time, because you might not run into a more forgiving person as I.
Indeed.
Because, like, sorry, like, if some dog were to bite you, like, what's your first response?
I would be like, ow, I guess. Like, I couldn't attack the dog myself. I'd have the owner get him.
Yeah, like, you can't bite the dog back.
No.
and imagine that. Of course, Florida man would get bit by a dog and then bite the dog back.
Right.
Like, who do we put down, the crackhead or the dog?
Exactly. And Aaron was saying how he eats hair in his mouth. So I would not like to have dog hair in my mouth.
Yo, for real. Like, that was a very strange phobia that you told me this evening, that you don't like hair in your mouth.
It's disturbing. I don't know why people would like to have hair in and around their mouth. In fact, of all the personal pleasures that someone may endure during their life, hair in the mouth seems like I'd rather take a 38 instead. You know? Let's just go right to the hair in the mouth or 38, just straight 38.
I think
pass me a link
when we were doing. We're just going off of his, and we're gonna download later.
Okay.
Yeah, and I already shared it on our socials.
All right, do you need my video?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, we're all good.
Yeah, we're
Everything's
good.
good.
Yeah, we're going off of his camera. We're
super
gravy, baby.
I'm in the frame.
Yeah,
we're good. Live.
Yeah, we're live.
We're live, right?
Okay, hi. You're not quite in the frame. We might have to move the camera just a little bit to yours.
Okay, all right, got it.
All right, so as Aaron's going to go fix the camera, I know we were talking about dog bites, but I just broke off my engagement yesterday.
How long were you together?
We were together for a little bit over a year.
Oh.
And point it that way, a little more.
Yeah, that's how your girl was, pointing it a little bit.
Little more, and perfect. Okay. Perfect.
How you treated your girl? No wonder why you broke up.
No. And sad thing is, like, I'm going to give it justice. I'm not going to go into full detail, but unfortunately, Patricia will not be married, getting married this year. So my apologies, people. And I play the soundboard by the applause of all the people here in the dog.
Yep.
Again, thank you, people. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It's
Thank you so
Madison
much.
fucking Square Garden in here right now. You have no idea what you don't see. It is amazing.
I
We've
know.
got so many fans out here. It is amazing. I am so happy to be here.
So, sir,
I sincerely, I know it sounds like I'm an asshole, but no, I'm happy to be here. Turn the nog and Daytona.
We tried. I posted everywhere, like posted flyers downtown and got it on Eventbrite, and hopefully people just start strolling and it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully people decide to go out on Monday night.
See,
Exactly.
There's another person here. If you didn't hear, there is another person here who is here to support the show.
and I appreciate it. You know what? We're gonna give her a round of applause right there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ginger Beer Drinking Lady. That is your name for tonight.
Well, don't say it in public, but I'm actually in part of the show. So
Yeah.
do I
Oh.
as a real audience? I don't know.
You are honorary fourth mic. Congratulations.
Dun, 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 dun.
So we're out here tonight because Aaron forwarded me an email of an event, and I'm like, well, that's
we memoed each other.
we memoed each other, and
It was the first one we ever sent.
it was like, you're going here. Okay, let's do it. I asked no questions. And when I got here, I'm horrible with names, and I think we just recognize each other. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna have fun.
Oh yeah.
Because I've seen you do stand up, and you by far, sir, are hilarious in a genuine way. Because like I don't feel any, like, what's the word I'm saying, fakeness from your comedy, and
You're not a fraud.
you're not a fraud. And I'm not saying everyone in Orlando's a fraud, but
They're all frauds.
But they're-
Every single one of them.
but you are the least amount of fraud that I've seen in comedy.
You're non-fraudish. Congratulations.
Why? Thank you. Thank you so much, Rocky. Yeah, I embellish it like 1%,
Mhm.
but like the rest of the 99 true stories.
And I know I was looking through your press kit, and I know that the only thing that I've heard is that you do comedy. But then as I was reading, like, I saw more. I saw writer, I saw producer, I saw filmmaker, I saw all these other hats. I'm like, holy crap. What the hell? What else do you not do? Are you a fucking superhero as well?
Yep, I'm a superhero too, and it all happened when I was I went and saw Method Man, Redman, Ghostface kill at the House of Blues in L.A.
Okay.
When it was still around. It's no longer there. And I went to the first show. They had a late show, and I couldn't afford the late show. And Method Man's merch man noticed how I was all wooed out,
Okay.
and he gave me a VIP bracelet to come back to the second show. And he goes, "You can go anywhere you want besides backstage." And I'm like, "Cool." So next thing you know, like, Cat Williams shows up out of nowhere, and he's passing out, Dom Perignon to everybody. And he gave one to me. I said no, thank you, because I don't drink. And he was throwing money off the balcony, and this guy named Armel goes, "That's like a really old shirt." And I'm like, "Yeah, I got this like in Colorado."
Uh-huh.
And I told him they misspelled Albuquerque. And he goes, "Yep, I know." And he goes, I'm Armel. I'm Jizz's artist." And I'm like, "Sure you are. This is LA, smoke and mirrors." He goes, "What are you doing out here? You don't sound like you're from Colorado." And I'm like, "No, from California. I'm from Colorado, and I'm just out here being an apprentice to my favorite horror director."
Okay.
And I mentioned his name, the names of his movies, and I was like, "Cool, let's like set up a meeting with me, you, and RZA." And I'm like, "All right, sure, whatever."
Yeah, RZA might be there. Yeah, we'll go with it. We'll go with it.
Just maybe. Who knows?
And so I'm doing research for Clive and at the Barnes and Noble in Palmdale, and I get a call, and it's Armel, and I hear RZA's voice in the background, and I'm like, "Oh man, this is real." So we set up a meeting. Wednesday happens. They were supposed to come to the studio, and they couldn't. And then I ended up going out to lunch with one of the actresses from one of his classic movies. And then they showed up on Friday, and I took them on a grand tour of the studio.
Oh, shoot.
Yep. And then I moved back after Clive asked me to come back. I was like, all right. I ended up meeting more of the Wu-Tang Clan members except for Jizza. pretty much. And I turned in I said, "Hey, what am I gonna do for Halloween? You should be Woo Man." I'm like, that sounds too much like a woman. And I'm like, how about Wu Manchu, like, Fu Manchu? And like, that's perfect. So, and that's how I became a superhero. And I got these crazy concert adventures.
Oh, that is insane. And, like, when we first got here, like setting up here at the NOG, you were just telling us that you just came from an event.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Okay, what was going on in Atlanta?
There was Days of the Dead, Atlanta. They have like in 4 different cities all over the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy, the owner of the NOG, and I went up to Days of the Dead at the Sheraton downtown, and I had the movie Nightbreed on me, the director's cut, and I already had like 2 of the characters that were in Hellraiser in that movie too, so they already had previous autographs. And then I met Corey Taylor, and I messed up on my book signing that when he was at Spooky Empire, and so he signed it to Sureth again, and I put, can you put like from Corey twice on each page, so it looks like it's like we're at a stadium and then we're like it's echoing. That'd be awesome. And I showed him my Slipknot patch on the back of my vest and everything.
You have a very decorated vest.
It's a battle jacket.
Thank you.
Is that what it's called?
It's called a battle jacket.
It's a battle jacket, I guess. Yeah, he knows his stuff, and this is like my life story on this side. This right side is all my jokes, references, like the Beatles, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Five Finger Death Punch, Marilyn Manson. And then on the back is everyone I've seen in concert, but I can't put every band on there because there's like I covered like 150 shows in 2 years.
Jesus
from
Christ.
everyone from like the Doors all the way to like locals.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you saw the Doors of the 21st Century. Was that the one you saw?
Minus Jim Morrison, because of course he passed away.
Yeah.
But everybody else, they were there.
I think I saw that same tour, but it was like 15 years before. It was called the Doors of the 21st Century, and I didn't know who they had singing it for them. But the main band, instead of the Doors, was ZZ Top, and it should have been vice versa. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh man,
Jesus, ZZ Top is great, but holy crap, that guy who sang for the Doors belted harder. I have no idea who he was. He sounded just like Jim Morrison, though. It was wild. It was fucking wild. Like all the Nazi propaganda, anti-Nancy propaganda too, as well. But Jesus Christ,
great time to be alive in America.
Well, at that time I was like 20, so I mean.
So that was eons ago.
I was a wee boy in the city streets at that time. I wasn't relevant.
Well, if we're gonna talk like big concerts like that, I think like the biggest one for me was 2004, the Up in Smoke tour.
Oh, with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and all those guys.
Went out to
you mean the most recent Super Bowl?
The Ice Palace, and yeah, it was all the greats, and like M was just like barely coming out, and the dude just effing killed it. Was it 2004 or 2000? I can't remember right now for the life of me, but it was by far the craziest concert because like I didn't go with any weed in my pocket, but I came out just like higher than the freaking sky, dude.
I hope that's still the same scenario with this podcast. I hope somebody comes in here with some good weed at any point in time and smokes me out like Be Real in a hot boxing vehicle.
Oh man, he was my first interview in LA.
Yeah,
that Sunset Strip.
Are you serious?
I swear.
Was he smoking when you interviewed him?
Yep, there was so much weed on the coffee table. I was like, this is amazing. And I was like the only like journalist to cover it because I was in the photo pit by myself, and it was like completely sold out. There was so much weed smoke in the air. It was amazing.
Contact high.
Yeah.
You know, feeling a little loopy.
I think we all of us like working in the entertainment field one way or another, like at one point we're exposed to like a insane amount of drugs, like laid out just for like, this is my drugs. Enjoy.
Yeah, the most extravagant I've ever seen, I really shouldn't talk about this, was I was at a party in Northern Illinois, and I was 23 and a half. I say a half because I grew in to be a man at 24. That's how, because I finally got to figure out what the rich people do for drugs. They honestly have a medicine jar full, like the thing you would put candies in, and they're all like, hey, take whatever one. It's random. And they had Xannies, they had Molly, they had everything. And all these people are just running around.
Sounds like my weekend at EDC.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. Except they're all rich, and then they start being richy on Molly, and it's scary.
Sounds like my weekend at EDC.
What I mean? It's like, what do you think? Okay, yeah, let's just go to EDC if you want to know the rest of the story. Same drugs, apparently.
No, I'm gonna share one, and then I'm giving it back to you, Sareth. My bet on this one. The most drugs I ever saw in my life. I was on a private plane going from Dallas to Cancun for a filming. I was part of the production crew, and we're up in 36,000 feet. Guy comes out of the back. He's like, "All right, guys, we got 3 days of production." Cuts open this big ass bag of Coke, and like a mushroom cloud, just poof, filled the cabin. And I'm like, my dumbass, I had never seen that in my life. I go to one guy, I hit him on the arms. I'm like, "Is that cocaine?" Immediately, I became the guinea pig of the party because everyone wanted me to do this, try that, do it like this, turn around, bend over, now snort. Okay, you're good.
So they Wolf of Wall Street your ass.
Oh, they wolfed the Wall Street the shit out of it.
That is the greatest adjective. Like a guy's trying to open a door with his foot. I mean, if that isn't Quaaludes, I don't know what else Quaaludes are.
So let me ask you this, Sareth. Like, what keeps you in the game of that? Like, what keeps you, like, what's your drive that keeps you going on all these shows, on all these interviews?
Just trying to promote everyone up on this. Like, I love creating platforms and bringing everyone up with me. That's just what keeps me going. Like,
that's the best fucking attitude to have in this industry.
Oh, thanks.
It's
refreshing.
It really is. It's not often you see the guy who's climbing up, but at the same time, it's like he's willing to stretch out that hand. It's like, "Hey, I'm coming up here. Let me get you there as well."
Remember what I referenced earlier, that you're not a fraud.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what I was saying when I said it, and now you guys have come to fruition of my previous statement. He is not a man of fraud. He provides opportunities.
You're a fucking wizard, Harry. Yeah.
I don't have any cuts because I don't believe in domestic abuse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
F you. I'm sorry. That was like an inside joke between us right now.
I apologize. That was really cold.
That was very cold.
That was
dude.
funny.
Like, I
Really
want to go to the other side of the bar because it's probably warmer over there after that shit.
It's cold, man.
So let me ask you this, man. Like, what you got going on your next ventures with your travels and your journeys?
Future Sareth Fest, more comedy shows. I'm just gonna do one a month because I love open mics more than I do actual shows. Because we don't get paid for shows. It's rare when you do get it's pretty much like regular open mics, but you actually have your name on the flyer. And I'm like, I've been in the game for like this is like my 7th year, and I'm like, all right, like this 7th one is probably. I retired like 5 times already, but this is it. Like, I've done everything I ever wanted to do as a comic. And I'm like, I got my own special documentary that's together. Got 2 festivals named after me. What is there left to do?
Dry bar. You do dry bar.
I'm dirty.
You're not.
Bar.
I know, but you need to do dry bar. I want to see you on dry bar. You want to ask, what is the next thing for dry bar?
Well, I get how like my stand-up's really dirty. But
yes, your set is extremely dirty. That's why I love your set.
That's why I want you to do dry bars. So you turn those. They have to turn wet again. You know what I mean?
Like, you make ejaculation funny.
Thank you.
And not a lot of people do that.
Thank you. Well, and I don't use curse words, so I guess that's a plus.
I love
you're the dirty Will Smith of the comic game.
Like, I'll say shit and piss and damn, but man, anything higher than that is totally ejaculate. It's like common sexual terms. I love it. It's like
there's one joke that I remember you saying, and I'm not gonna give the full punchline, but I know it ends with "come together."
Yep.
And I remember the first time I heard that one, it was like a half a second of silence in that room, and then everybody just caught it, and we're just like, "Oh my god, no, you didn't."
Yeah,
because it was so dark, and I freaking loved it. And if you want to hear that, you got to check out Sareth and all his comedy. Like what's a plug for people to like find you and hear your stuff?
Go to my website aqdpi.com, and if you say it fast, it's aqdpi.com, so you can't forget it.
Okay.
But yeah, I put my jokes on here. So there's Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, the Beatles.
Yeah.
And so I point to that when I make reference on stage.
I get the joke. I've heard it enough where I get the full reference of how he's just going sequentially. I can't talk. Never mind. There's no water.
No.
I haven't ordered my soda yet, so I'm fucked right now.
I'm like a camel, man. I freaking drink a gallon of water a day. So like by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, I'm I'm good. I don't need.
What did we have to drink in the car though? We had Red Bulls on the way over, and I ate like 4 cheeseburgers.
Yeah, but we ate like a shit ton of McDonald's fries, which is like we caught diabetes on the way over here.
I thought diabetes was ice cream. No one got a diabetes.
You can get diabetes from eating a lot of cheeseburgers, I think.
Yeah,
Diabetes doesn't care who you are, where you're from, how old you are. It's gonna get you.
Yeah. See, you told me to close my computer. I can't check and see if McDonald's cheeseburgers gives you diabetes. These are the important fucking facts, and we don't know them right now.
You can open
Ginger beer lady. Does eating cheeseburgers give you diabetes?
If it did, I'd probably have it by now.
Okay, this lady doesn't have diabetes, so.
I'm 60, I'd probably eat more cheeseburgers than you just by sheer virtue of age.
Ginger beer lady, you look a day over 45.
I'm near diabetic, but thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I stay young through my lifestyle.
What's your lifestyle?
Cheeseburgers.
She's got the whiskey rose.
She's on the fuck it diet. Like I don't.
She's drinking ginger beer, but she wishes there was a ginger and whiskey. You know what I mean? She's like, I want a strong pour and don't fuck around, bartender. 2 ice cubes, and if those things are even slightly melted, I'm cutting something off.
Now, Sareth, I know that we're doing a half and half. You let me know how much more you want me to go, or if you want me to pull this podcast over and you take the wheel, because I'm having a blast right now, bro.
Oh, for sure. If you want, we can go over an hour, and then I'll do an hour with you and Jenny, because we're here till 1 a.m.
We're here till 1 a.m. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
And all the old people who come here are used to being tortured by the young people who have later bedtimes than we do. We train up to this shit.
Oh shit! I got trial in the morning, but you know what? Nothing that a Red Bull can't handle.
Yeah, you're drinking it in my car right now.
Well, that's one thing about me. I'm a paralegal by day.
Oh,
paralegal marketing director at a law firm in Orlando. And wow, I shouldn't have been talking about the cocaine stuff at the beginning of the episode, but it's all right.
You know what? You're gonna go down in flames, and I'm still fine. So we're all good. Keep the chaos going, guys.
But I know a lot of white attorneys, so I'm gonna be gravy, baby.
You have white friends too.
I have a lot of white friends.
Yep, you're the whitest.
I am the whitest Mexican you'll ever meet. I have no
Belarus too. It's really weird.
Now, I'm gonna say something that's a little bit odd. And
you are odd.
No, I know I'm odd. That's why I embrace my oddness, and that's why people love me, because I'm so oddie.
So whose show are we on? Are we on our show or are we on Sarah's show? I didn't
We
get the
are
memo in the
slowly
opening.
we're taking the wheel right now. We're trying to merge into the
How about we just do a crossover show for a long time and then we can go back to formalities? What do you guys think? We could keep talking about like cool stuff.
Yeah,
like,
dude. You know what? How about this?
Surratt's got a 3-hour documentary. I'm sure he has something we could talk about. You don't have to pull the podcast over right now. I mean, you said you worked with Clive Barker. What kind of experience does that like entail? Like, how does one go about meeting Clive Barker to do Clive Barker related post activities with Clive Barker?
Say Clive Barker again one more time.
Clive Barker. Did I give enough media to Clive? Is he good now? His name is Clive. How cool is that? Shit. Continue. Tell me more about Clive Barker and your relationship. Most Joe Rogan question I've ever asked in my fucking life. Tell me more.
I emailed. I was in my junior year of college, and I needed an internship to graduate college.
Mm-hmm.
And someone messaged me on MySpace and said Clive's releasing a new book called Mr. Be Gone. It's about a demon that possesses a book while you read it. And there's this point in this book where it's like there's your page is moving, and on one side it's the demon says, "See that page moving on the other side? That's me causing it to move," or something like that.
That's trippy.
And I look over and it's moving up and down. I'm like, this is nuts. So he's getting with Hellraiser and Candyman and stuff like that, Nightbreed. So I just reached out to him, and I didn't expect anything in return. His email got forwarded from England to LA. And he goes, set up some dates, and we picked Friday the 13th at 4:30 p.m.
That's a great time.
Yep, send us your resume. This is like 2008. And my family, my mom, dad, and my cousin drove out to LA from Colorado. And he asked, I dropped my parents off at a park, and I drove by myself, and I said, here's the address. This is where you need to go. I'm like, sure, cool. And then they moved the interview to another building, which is like holds all his paintings, and he interviewed me himself. And I'm like, what? This is nuts. Usually,
were you intimidated by? I don't know his stature, so were you intimidated by him, or was he like very Okay,
Humble.
I could talk to this guy. What was his demeanor like?
Very humble. Like
Very humble.
I just lit up like a Christmas tree because like it's my hero, my superhero. Just like approaches me, you know. And then he interviews me. He's like, "What do you why do you want to do this?" I'm like, "I want to be just like you, like the video games, the books, the movies, the video games, like the whole shebang." I'm like, "Yeah, the whole shebang." And the second question was like, "What do your parents think?" I'm like, "My dad's 100% behind me. My mom's sad because I'm leaving." And the third was like, "Did you come here for business or pleasure?" And I'm like, "Business, because I'm here with you. Pleasure, because I went to Disneyland and Universal Studios." It's
Beautiful.
"All right, kid."
I'm sorry for laughing, but like that was just perfect. You just threw in Disneyland and Universal right there. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes the trip. Going to Disneyland and going to Universal.
Yep.
Absolutely. I haven't been to that either in so long. I don't even consider myself an Orlando resident.
Do you want to go with me to the? I have a pass
To where?
to Universal Studios.
I like Legoland because there's no fucking corporate overlords and they make me laugh at Legos.
I saw you at Legoland.
Exactly. That's why it's.
I've yet to been.
You have yet to been.
I've yet to.
I have yet to been.
I've yet to go to Have you ever gone to Legoland?
I've never been to any theme park in Florida.
Even though you just referenced Disneyland and Universal as if it was going to be a selling point for your.
Well, this was in like Beverly Hills.
That's
like,
fair. All right.
Oh,
So you were
went to
rocking the Weezer in the
California
car.
Disney. Okay, you're not good. We're not good enough for you to come out to the Universal Disney. Sorry, I don't know why.
Universal. What?
I got
We're a
bit by dog.
podcast that shows the other side of Orlando, but that it's more than just a mouse.
Oh my god! I just went against my own.
Yeah,
freaking intro.
your mission statement is flawed horseshit. Is really what you just.
I'm going to shoot myself right now.
Oh, yeah.
Stand by.
Oh yeah. You know what? If you do that enough more times, they actually will call the police here in Daytona. They will actually wait, or is it when it starts smelling? Is that when you guys call? Yep. Got
that's
the
the one.
response I wanted. Got the response I wanted. No one's calling anyone because you probably should have kept your mouth shut.
So, you say you're from Colorado, right?
Yep.
What part of Colorado?
I was born in Boulder, lived in Longmont, and moved down to Pueblo for like 20-something years.
I went to school in Broomfield,
Oh, cool.
and I worked in Denver and Aurora, and I would find myself drunk in Boulder by the end of the week
Oh, wow.
because
Is that a band name in Boulder right now? Are you drunk in Boulder? That should be a band name.
I
if
think
you
that-
live in Boulder.
Dude.
I think so.
Well, no, because like Boulder
ska band.
in 2004, Boulder was named college party city of the world, and I went to go test that theory out, and holy shit, we're the freaking party city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and wow, that was your. Congratulations, dude. Number one, I lived in Vista Way.
That's the way.
I don't know where that is.
Vista Way is where the Brazilians and the white men of Orlando met to fornicate like fucking banana people, and it was amazing. And that is all we did for 7 months was fuck each other. I love Portuguese, and now you know why I married Asian.
Oh.
So I don't want to go
Just
back.
kidding.
Well,
just
here's the
kidding.
thing. What he just said has a direct connection with the theme parks.
Ah.
Because Vista Way in Chatham, the other residence, is the location where all the college students go for the college program that Disney offers. So when college students are coming from all over the country, they stay
all over the world.
all over the
Get it
world.
right.
all over the world.
It's
They stay on these properties that Disney owns that Disney's already paid for, but they still charge the people from their paycheck to live there.
It was indentured servitude. It
Yes.
was nothing else other than that.
Wow.
And
Yeah, but here's the thing. We didn't care because they let us go to Pleasure Island and buy like Bacardi 101.
you got free
and
entrance to the park, to all the parks. You had compasses to give away, and you get the Disney discount, which is, I hate to say it, it's actually pretty good, not only in the park, but outside of the general area. You could live off of $75 a week, which is what Disney basically paid you after what you would pay for the property.
Okay, you're telling a falsified lie. You cannot. Chatham Square was $185 a week, and they took it right out of your paycheck, as you said. But you made enough money because you were cheap labor for Disney.
Mhm.
You were making $9.50 an hour, which was at the time was considered good. But you were really making about $3.50 to the dollar until your rent was paid.
Wow.
So if you think about, I had a cell phone bill, a car payment, and I lived on fucking Chatham and Vista Way. Trust me, there was no joyous. We just got drunk. That's all we could afford to do. We couldn't even buy good pot. And that's the reality of it. It was named Playboy's number one place in 2003 to 2005. Most likely place that a college student can get laid is at Disney.
Yeah.
Seriously, in one of those two complexes. And it was absolutely true.
Oh, yeah.
We would sneak people in our cars
in the trunks
to get in to the residential complexes just to have parties.
Because
we had kegs that were disguised in Amazon boxes. And we would bring them in, and the Amazon guys would let us do it.
If we couldn't get in through the entrance, we would sneak in behind the Wendy's under the fence to get onto Vista Way property.
Yeah, I didn't need to. I live there. So, and then somebody said we should move to Chatham, and I was like, "Are you retarded? Like seriously, this is the greatest experience that you will ever have, and you want to move out?"
I had a new girlfriend every 6 months for those 2 years that I worked at Disney, because
every 3 days. What are you talking?
Well, dude, I mean, I would have something serious going on with one girl, and then she'd have to go back to Ireland, and then I had another girl come in, and they had to go back to Indiana or wherever she was coming from because she had to go back to her career. I'm like, all right, cool.
All I remember is just saying Bennigan's and cocaine were just the greatest things in the world. If you guys get that reference, there was a Bennigan's in walking distance. Bennigan's is like a family Applebee's restaurant. Those Norwegian chicks used to walk in there, change the fucking menu, and we would drink until like 4:30 in the morning because we would take over the business every single night of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine a Bennigan's being cool?
I can, because there's this video on YouTube where it's like Yellow Ledbetter by Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
And it's misheard lyrics, and they talk about Bennigan's in there, and that's what makes the Bennigan's cool to me.
Because Pearl Jam. Okay. All right. Yep.
I'll send you both the video.
Yes, please do. I need to see that video on how Bennigan's is cool. Oh my God.
I can't imagine. Well, yes, I can. Go ahead, please. Continue. Eddie Vedder going,
ask me something. I can't.
Eddie Vedder's just looking straight at the camera in the music video. Bennigan's is cool.
There's Anna Nicole, there's Democrats. It's just the craziest thing. And then you watch it along, and it's like karaoke, and it's like, holy crap, this is really misheard lyrics on this thing, and it's just, you love it. You're just like this.
No, I feel like I would definitely like relate to it once I start watching and listening. Oh my God. So okay, let me ask you this: how long have you been doing this with Tierna nOg?
This is just started like in December.
In December.
Yep. So well, the first, I had Leslie Joe at the first Threat Fest Tidbits.
Shout out to Leslie Joe.
Yep, and Etchy.
Yo.
And then we're like, why don't we just try this like once a month? And Randy and I went to Atlanta for the Candyman premiere.
How was it?
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
There at the Days of the Dead too.
Oh.
And so I loved how like they connected this new one with the first one.
I was just gonna ask, like, is there like at least small connection with them?
Yep. And you'll see like Clive's book we rolled in there. You'll see like a character named Clive and another one named Tony. But it's like his, and then they go, it was like the baby named Anthony. Like his mom talks to him.
I like Clive Barker because he talks about Caprina Greens.
Oh yeah, you're from Chicago.
Yes,
absolutely. Yeah, I tried to drive by there when I was in Chicago doing stand-up, but I didn't get the chance to go.
Caprina Greens is nowhere you should try to drive to. It's not there anymore for good reason. It was a scary, scary fucking place.
Is it scary that I want the sudden urge to chew on a bone right now?
Is the rabies getting to your brain?
I think that, I'm kidding.
Oh.
You got attacked by a dog.
What kind of dog was it?
It looked like, well, you live there. What kind of dog was it? I don't know what
kind of dog. I just hear it all the time. I want to shoot up.
It's like a brown pit bull.
Just
so like ceiling? Oh wait,
I wish that would happen to the dog. Yes. Fucking loud. Sitting playing Elden Ring with headphones on. It sounds like a goddamn earthquake because he found his ball.
I always forget like which one, because I have different banks on this thing.
Okay, I'm gonna let you play with sounds. I'm gonna go make the bartender work for a moment.
Oh my God.
That's James. Hi James. He's our bartender.
Hey James, how are you?
And support of the local arts. Mad love to you, dude.
So tell me, Sareth, you said you've seen like what, over 150 or 180 shows in your lifetime?
Yep.
Now, Is that just like just one specific genre, or like do you tend to like try out new things?
Every genre. Like when I was with Clive, as his apprentice, he goes, don't let them pigeonhole you into a certain genre like they did with me with horror. Like I want you to go to see everything: metal, country, R&B, blues, hip hop, everything. Because I was just a huge Wu-Tang fan, so he thought I would just go cover hip hop shows, and I ended up covering like Real Big Fish and Guar and Alice in Chains and like all these bands, and it was just Nora Jones at the Hollywood Bowl, just like every single genre of music, and it was like and all I had to do was like send in requests like for press passes,
Yeah,
and they would get me in free access.
that's
And
pretty sick.
I just showed my ID. It was like the movie Almost Famous, but I instead of just following one band, you follow all your favorites that you grew up on listening to.
Look at you coming in here with your drink,
Yeah.
all fancy and shit, putting it on your laptop. Smart move for moving it from your laptop. But all right. So with all those shows, all these places that you've gone to, let's talk about let's do the 2-3 questions.
Okay.
What's one of the scariest moments that you've had while going on these tours?
Oh, it was like very intimidating was when they had the Mayhem press conference, Mayhem Rockstar Energy Drink Tour like festival going on. It was Rob Zombie, Five Finger Death Punch, Butcher Babies, all on that one like festival bill.
That's a big ticket.
And so what they did was they shut down half of like part of the Sunset Strip, and they had a motorcade of like motorbikes of like Hell's Angels escorting them in. And I'm like, this is really intimidating. This is like my Hunter S. Thompson moment as a journalist. And they had Hell's Angels do security for it.
The Hell's Angels were doing security.
Yep. And it was just it was like very scary for me because I didn't know what to expect. And they would tell me stories of like, yeah, like when the LA riots were happening, the Hell's Angels stood in front of the Rainbow Bar and Grill, which is my favorite restaurant in LA on the Sunset Strip. And that's where Lemmy has his own statue there and everything.
That's like calling it's like calling the Army Reserve to guard a Girl Scout cookie convention.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just like, that's too much.
Indeed.
No, if you want some.
Nuclear arsenal to guard girls. Don't mess around with
You can't mess around with the Girl Scouts.
No way.
Yeah.
And so like I got to interview Five Finger Death Punch upstairs, and I say like there's like a reference to Five Finger Death Punch in my set, and one of my acts, and so that's like my homage, like pay homage to them. And like I remember like there was so many people like really loud out there like in the hallway, and Chris Kale from Five Finger Death Punch was like, hey, shut up, Wu-Tang is talking. It was like the coolest thing, and I put it at the very end of my it's kind of like one of those post credits from Marvel.
Yeah.
Like you let the credits roll, and then you'll see like Chris like yelling at the people in the yard, like outside yelling. But that was like my scariest moment. But there's times where I saw like cattle decapitation, and this guy was like,
Wait, what?
yeah, I saw cattle decapitation. This band.
Oh, I thought you were like cattle. Like they killed the cows at a show. I'm like, holy shit.
Well, along the
farmers'
timeline,
convention's
I'm
got
sure
really extreme. Goddamn.
Yeah.
along the timeline they did kill cattle at their shows because metal wasn't metal enough until something died for a while. Which is true. It's very true.
Yeah, there was this big guy in the pit.
Do you need to go to the hospital?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good.
Oh,
I don't want
to.
kibble.
I don't spend the
want
night in
kibble
Daytona
just
that
yet.
much.
Like I don't want kibble just yet, so we're good.
But yeah, there was like this pillar there, and this really big guy that was like, he was just like standing in the middle of a mosh pit. I'm like, this is so cool. He's like not letting anybody bother him, and he was just pushing people off him, and he just like stood like a pillar. Like it was at the Whiskey, I think it was, and it was just, I just love covering every genre, and it was just experimenting different energies from different people all the time.
I feel that for someone to enjoy music, if I'm just waving a flag of bandage right there, sorry. For someone to honest to God enjoy music, you have to embrace all its aspects because everything evolved from something. Like earlier this week, last week, I was listening to the Cadillacs, and oh my God, what was the name of the song? Freaking like now, mind you, the Cadillacs were like from the 1950s, and I'm listening to this song, and I'm like, it's got a great beat, it's got beautiful lyrics, like, but somehow that music evolved into a new style of hip hop, a different method of R&B, soul. Like so many different genres came from from all these from this one song, and then mind you, that song probably evolved from something else, and so on and so forth. So for someone to appreciate music, you got to take it all in.
Yep.
And that being said, now mind you, you just mentioned your one of the most scariest moments. Now, what was by far one of the saddest moments that you've had on a tour?
Yes, let's talk about what makes you sad, Suresh. You don't have to answer that if you don't want to, but okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
You want to talk about sadness?
or like a show that like didn't go the way you expected, like one of the most depressing or like, oh damn, moments on your tours.
Oh, well, I'd have to go with a comedy tour that I did. My very first tour, did a show in Flagler Beach, and Zach Bennett was hosting.
Okay, shout out to Zach Bennett.
And it's like pretty much next to like my city of Palm Coast that I live in, and like there was like retirees there, and they would not get my references, and I was like, and I bombed.
Thank God they didn't.
Yeah, they bombed so hard. Like they were not ready for my dirty material, and I'm like, this is just crickets. And so that was like I did like a 14 performance run on 10 days or something like that, and that was like the most heartbreaking moment. You just hear crickets, and I just got done doing Relapse Theater, like 200 people. I'm guessing because like sold out, people were staying in the back. And I was like, I had 6 minutes, and it was just hard to hear the laughs clear out because it felt like a wave of just laughter. Like,
wow.
And then like one of the following days was just me just bombing. It was just like, all right,
it's that humble feeling after a really good set. You're like, man, this was amazing. I bet I can do it somewhere else. And you go somewhere else, you're like, I'm eating it hard.
Yeah.
I'm eating it hard. I'm gonna keep eating it till my time's done. Nope, we're not. I'm going home. Bye.
And I was so glad I had to do the nog like right after, because like it was an earlier Wednesday, part of the Wednesday. And I'm like, I'm so glad I'm back home here at the nog, where it's like been in my home for like 7 years. It's like they've had stand up for like 11. So it's like
we were actually, as we're coming up here, I was calling a buddy of mine because I had to check something. And he was asking us, oh, what are you guys doing tonight? Let's hang out. Like, oh, we're heading to Daytona right now for to perform at the Nog. He's like, tonight's the open mic? I'm like, no, we're doing a podcast. And I'm like, okay, for my homeboy to bring it out, I'm like, okay, this is the thing. People come from all over just to be able to do a stand-up here.
Yep.
And I like that. Like, and I tell this all the time on the show, where I love going to open mics because you see the evolution of comedy. People try out new material all the time, whether it's you see the birth of a joke. And if you follow that comic for a couple of weeks or months, you see them tone that joke to the point where it becomes their material. It becomes part of their bit. And it's a joke they get known for. And I fucking love comedy. Like if whoever's listening on the show right now, check out your local open night comedy bar. I promise you, you'll get a cheap laugh or two. You'll have a good drink with a buddy of yours, and who knows, you might end up following the comics and getting pleasure out of what they put their heart and soul into.
Any one of us at any given moment could be the next big thing. The problem is we don't know where it is, when it's going to happen, or who's going to ascend. It's just one of those things that no matter how much planning goes into how much you think it's going to happen, doesn't mean it's ever going to happen. And that's the weird thing about comedy, is because every time you do it, you want to do it again, even if you were good or bad. Because you were like, if you're bad, you're like, oh, well, I could probably do that better. Or you're a sadomasochist and you just love being in front of people and telling them horrible shit, and it makes you feel good that they feel bad. That is comedy. It's not always what is successful, but
so comedy is like sex. When it's good, it's good, but when it's bad, it's still good.
It really is.
No. Sometimes it's bad. It is so heart-wrenching. Actually, those sets are the one sets that me and Sarah probably both love to watch more than anything else, is a comic who's dying on stage, because it is amazing to watch how they handle the grace of eating a D.
Yep. And I'm always front row right there, like playing all their tunes, their walk-up music, and I just like to have a smile on my face. And if they make me laugh, they make me laugh. But it's rare, because I just seen so many D's up here.
I've made you laugh, so I know I'm allowed to hang out with you.
Absolutely. And that's why I love this place. It's like every Wednesday, 10 p.m., like sign up, 10:30, 10:45. And they open up with a DX intro, and I'm like the DJ, and we close out with Pantera's Walk. And I told Phil Anselmo that when we met up in Atlanta this past weekend. and I gave him and his lady my comedy album, and he was really excited to have those two. So hopefully they listen and laugh. And I told him I don't cuss on my album, but it's really dirty. So hopefully he can look forward to that.
So let me ask you this.
Phil's is like a big influence. He was in Pantera. Now, Pantera is one of his favorite bands, and he got to meet him over this weekend. Isn't that like, imagine you got to meet Eminem and you didn't like fuck it up with commentary. You know what I mean? Like you actually spoke to him and had a conversation.
I would be frozen if I met Eminem.
And that's what I'm giving this context, because Phil is like, if you look at metal, people reference Pantera. You know, they're part of the I don't want to say the elitist, but the ones that other bands look up to influence.
Okay.
So Pantera is as big as Metallica in certain circles, depending on who's carrying a knife and who's carrying a gun. You know, that's how it is, you know.
And Eminem is my very first concert ever, believe it or not.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. It was
love me some Shady.
Anger Management tour with Eminem, Ludacris, Executioners.
I remember that tour.
Yeah.
Oh, I never went to it, but I remember the second you just said Anger Management tour, I'm like, crap. Oh my God. I feel so old right now.
Yeah, but I saw those folks like taking pictures. I'm like, I want to be one of those people one day. And then sure enough, I was one of those people one day, and I got to see everything. It was just awesome.
I like how you guys have like the most positive stories about meeting your idols. I met Billy Corgan and I wanted to punch him in his face, but I couldn't reach it. Guy is 7 foot tall and a dickhead.
Oh.
That's all I know. Have you ever met Billy Corgan?
No.
I was walking down the street and I literally just said two things. I was like, I know who you are and I think you're amazing, but please bring Darcy back to the band, because you're not good enough to carry on the Smashing Pumpkins alone.
Well, of course you're going to get that negative
And
comment.
then he turned his back on me, and I said, that's okay. You're a dickhead, and everybody in this city knows it. Who pays $100 to a listening party to the Smashing Pumpkins reject?
Now, was that in Orlando?
No, that was in Chicago. Actually, that was in St. Louis. So
I had
weird.
a different experience.
I hate Billy Corgan. Fuck that man.
I saw Smashing.
I just wanted you guys to see it from. You can really tell. I fucking hate that man. If you're listening, Billy, you owe me a Jaguar. You know that. You owe me a Fender Jaguar, you piece of shit.
My buddy
Double door.
My buddy Steve worked at a local liquor store in Studio City, and I was there buying Maynard James cans of wine. And I was like, "Hey,
please tell me you tried it. I know you don't drink, but did you try Tool Guy's wine?"
I did. 3 of his bands are on the back of this vest, Pussifer, Tool, and A Perfect Circle. And I was like, hey, I wore my American Vineyards hat there to buy the wine. He goes, hey, did you know APC is going to be here at the Gibson? I'm like, yeah, I got nosebleeds. He goes, I work catering there as well as the like not the Palladium and stuff. And I'm like, cool. He goes, do you want backstage passes? I'm like, sure, why not? And I'm like, it's LA, smoke and mirrors. So I showed my ID at the box office. They give us VIP bracelets. I'm like, holy crap, we get to go backstage and we hang out with like James E. How that was in Smashing Pumpkins, and he was on his phone though. But like Billy and Jeff and Matt for the band, but Maynard was nowhere around. And then he hooked me up with like Roxette backstage and Smashing Pumpkins and also the Misfits, Danzig and Sam Hain on.
Was he nice to you? Because he wasn't nice to me.
I didn't get to talk to him, but I did run into Head from, or I think it was Head.
Well, Stress not gonna call him on his bullshit, and like Stress gonna be nice and shake his hand. You basically just give him a middle finger. Of course,
well, he kicked Darcy out of the band, and she was a rock star. She was meant to. I saw the final show in Chicago. I paid the $600 per ticket. I am a Smashing Pumpkins fan.
That's a lot of money for.
That is a lot of fucking money.
In like 2000.
Oh, that is a shit ton of money in 2000.
Yep.
So when you kick Darcy out of the band, when you come back,
well, I love Smashing Pumpkins.
I love Smashing Pumpkins.
They did that to you. The most. How much was like the most you ever spent on a concert?
Most I ever spent on a concert. I gotta think about that one because funny.
350.
No.
350 for me.
No.
Not the 600.
I have to say the most I've ever spent on a concert was EDC, because here's the thing. Every big concert or show that I've been to is because I've become the plus one, or I get hooked up, or someone just like, hey, I can't go. You want these tickets? Dude, in the past 6 months, I've gotten to see Andre Bocelli. I got to see Donald Trump live with Bill O'Reilly.
Boo!
I'm not bragging about that one. I'm just saying I got to see it for free. I wasn't going to pay $300.
Bill O'Reilly, fuck you, man. That's the only one.
I got to see The Who in 1979 for like 7 cents or however much it was.
God
I got to see the show for a nickel. I'm sorry.
Jefferson Airplane was opening for the Doors.
But all right.
We took the Grab-It train to the majestic land, and the Beatles were there too, baby. Underwater submarine, LSD.
But no, all right. The most expensive show I ever paid for was James Taylor and Carole King, and that was at the Amway. And I paid $180 because I had floor seats because I fucking love James Taylor.
Oh, that's nice.
Is James Taylor the one I'm thinking of, or am I thinking of a different name? I'm thinking of James Brown. So
wow.
James Taylor is a white dude with an acoustic. With a
coaster. Yeah. He's a white dude with a coaster.
I said a coaster, so I'll give you the coaster, not coaster. I'll give you a coaster. Weed is bad.
The most I spent was $500. It was Coachella weekend on like 2012.
Oh, that's totally worth it.
I'm not ambitious enough. I just don't have it in me anymore to do it. Every time he goes, "Hey, dude, I'm going to go to EDC. You want to go?" I'm like, I'm 37. I don't want to hear thump, 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 even from my fucking house.
Indeed.
But for some reason, I'm going to go to a 3-day doom metal festival. So I'm just going to stand next to an amp listening to it like flap in my ear.
See, I got a feeling like if we were to invite a ginger beer lady to EDC, she would totally go. Would you ever go to EDC?
I've never heard of them.
Electronic Daisy Festival.
Electric Daisy Festival.
It sounds possible. It sounds
You take Woodstock, put a synthesizer to it, and a lot more drugs. That is what EDC is.
The drugs nowadays are way beyond my grade.
That's how I feel, and I'm 38.
Honey. Oh no, honey! You just go to EDC with some bracelets, which is considered candy, and you exchange your candy with other people, and they give you
black tar heroin.
On Saturdays, yes, but on Fridays you'll get some cocaine and some great edibles.
If the heroin doesn't kill you, the cocaine will bring you back to life for the I lost it.
That's how I survived.
I lost it. I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? I fuck.
No, the Adderall and cocaine kept me alive during Afrojack sets. So yeah, going back to you. So from all the people that you've met, how about this?
This is the most random fucking show I've ever been in my life. How much you pay? $500.
And one of the headliners was Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and the Tupac hologram.
This show is over. We've got it's a full 360 now, guys. We've talked about Snoop and Dre 3 times.
You say it one more time, they're going to appear.
Yep.
I fucking hope so. Just from the C lead, Snoop Dogg, Martha Stewart, and Dr. Dre. Let's get the whole crew in here.
I would love to take a drink with Martha Stewart.
I want you to be Martha Stewart. How do we do that?
I have no clue, and I don't know why you would want that.
I don't know. It seems to be working for Snoop, and we need...
No, Snoop has been good by himself. The team up with Martha Stewart just been like finding out Jesus knew karate. I'm totally cool with that.
He's on the Puppy Bowl, and then he's on the halftime show. That is a gangster if I've ever seen a side hustler. that is more gangster than Ryan Seacrest, okay? And he's on everything.
No, look, we've talked about the scariest. We talked about the saddest.
Not even anything. Not even a reciprocation about a great joke about Ryan Seacrest.
So we talked about the saddest. We talked about the scariest. Now let's talk about the one that brought you so much.
Go through all the human emotions.
Yeah, let's talk about emotions.
What was the most sexual event you had on tour?
Perfect. We're going with that one.
Yep, exactly,
None?
James, because I still have my V card. So
Nice.
Thank you.
I respect that 100%.
Yeah.
In this day and age, I mean, temptation's everywhere. Dude, you're a bigger person than I am.
But I did pay for sex many a times and didn't go through with it. With that one time in Bangkok, that one time in West Hollywood, it just got scared.
Dude, it's a scary thing.
It really is. That's where the whole, the Beatles Iron Maiden Judas Priest came in. Then I made that Bangkok reference to Avril Lavigne. So it's, so much for my happy ending is what I call that joke. It's on the album, so you'll like it.
I feel like I need to give you a new word for your set to research. Have you heard of edging?
I guess maybe it might be on that documentary, which is now like almost 9 hours. By the way,
You can find some reference in the glossary, I'm sure, somewhere of the dirty comics you've talked to over the years.
it's the bonus track on that, so you gotta wait till like the whole album's over.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the Martin Shkreli remix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does he still own that?
So who did the artwork for this? Because like it's really badass.
Oh, it's my buddy Charlie McMullen. He was my roast master when I on my very first stand-up show, and he's been doing it for like the past 5-6 years. So it's Fear and Loathing meets Hellraiser,
Mhm.
and you'll see Candyman's hook in there too.
You can also see one of the flyers here.
Oh shit!
I don't know if it's the same artwork, is it?
Yep. Different artwork, but same
Different-
artist.
I like it. It's very what do I want to say? It's very like post 90s.
Oh, you hear that?
It's Metallica.
The toll bell rings for thee.
From whom the bell tolls.
Whatever,
Try,
I just
trying to add to the metal complex.
And at the bell, with a side of chaos, is now switching over to
Nog Irish Pubcast, Pods of the Nog, where we get to interview Jenny, the author that was sitting there, and you two.
why don't we let Jenny come up for a little while,
Yeah.
and then we can come back. That way we can reset the mood.
Okay. Sounds great.
So,
Yeah.
you want me to get Jenny or how?
Jenny, it's your turn.
I just feel like that was the way to do it.
Indeed. So we'll end the broadcast for this one, and then we'll relaunch it.
This sounds good. I love this. This is so like Black Ops art collective style comedy rock star podcasting.
yeah, dude. I freaking love this, man, dude. Thank you for having us out here.
You're welcome.
This is amazing. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. Or maybe we can just put the next one on. Oh, well, we should have did it the other way around.
It's okay. We can end this broadcast now.
Okay, sounds
We can
good.
figure out ops after.
Yeah. Either way, you'll be able to do your thing, and I
love this.
I
This is
forgot
so
to hit the record at probably around like the 6-minute mark when we first started. So the first 6 minutes of the show weren't on there.
Actually, I wasn't even here, so I don't care.
Oh, fuck you.
I bet it was a great show, guys. And then I got here, and then he hit the button, and then the show was actually started. I love it. Condescending prickness, isn't it?
Oh man, so much cursing at the end. But also, if you're not laughing, you're not living. Live every day to the fullest, but always do it.
Oh, this was with a side of chaos?
Wow, welcome to the show, buddy.
Yeah! Yeah!
Once again, thank you so much to Sareth for giving us all his stories, all his input. Where can people find you?
AQDPI.com has all my social media handles, Sareth_Nay, Instagram, Twitter, and all that. YouTube.
Please, when we post our episode later, we'll put your link tree or however
100%.
your mass distribution of content. You just give that over, and we'll get you even more famous than you are now.
Sweet. I put all your information in the description box below on the YouTube.
Fantastic.
I
We made
love it.
YouTube. I made YouTube without being weird.
Woo!
Actually, this whole thing's been weird. Why not? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And we will see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
I didn't realize we were doing our own show.
Yeah, we were.
I thought we were doing Surest's show.